We used to go to Denny's, and the reason for that is because they had a really late night floating there. And if there was somebody that was too drunk to make it the many miles that it could possibly be to the warming center, thank you, sir. They a lot of times we'd need to stop at Denny's and have a warm up, get some coffee, get them sober enough to actually make it. Denny's is actually where I hung out with Janine Barrett, and that was in Boulder, Colorado. And almost every night for about 6 months, we'd go to the Denny's, or she'd go to the Denny's, and there was a real nice lady there from Baghdad. And, with everything going on with the political climate, instead of saying that she was from Iraq, she would say she was from Persia. Same thing. With a lot of the stuff that's been going on, it's a measure of safety. A lot of the issues that I deal with in the average day, a lot of people don't understand autism. They understand wives' tales that were shown to be mythology back in the 90s. I got my vehicle outside. I broke the handle on my door yesterday, so now I have to go through my passenger door, which is a pain. However, I have a little bit of safety and comfort here. I mean, the lighting is all right. It's a little overwhelming for me, but tonight there's not a whole bunch of people in here like there was the other night. That was too much for me coming in. But you also get to see that they were kind to me, and they brought my food out to me. And of course, the rules that I follow, as far as if you don't have $5 to tip, you're too broke to go out and eat. I believe that. And as far as Janine, she said, you know what, even if it's just a cup of coffee, you need to tip the waiter or the waitress $5. Many of them are on their feet most of the day. You might think that rich people would tip, they usually don't. A lot of times the only thing that they actually get to take home is tips. One of the things that I was trying to teach y'all about racism, I grew up in the system. I grew up getting beaten up the color of my skin, and I don't take that with me everywhere I go. I don't assume that every minority that I meet is gonna assault me. I don't do that. I recognize how wrong that is, and a lot of you recognize how wrong you are as well, in what you do and what you think and what you say and how you treat others. The values that you put on others over your selfish wants many times. You wanna assign yourself a role as if you're in a Disney movie. And you're this hero in your own tale. Isn't everybody the hero in their own story? I just realized I don't have anything to stir my coffee with. Oh, I missed my coffee. Anyway, it's definitely better than nothing. And with there being safety issues with me going to where the food is, only having to spend $6 on on a breakfast isn't too bad.
Oh, you finally got caught. They found one you over.
I don't have any teeth, so I can't eat the bacon. So I get the sausage. I prefer my eggs scrambled.
Here's the rest of that, brother.
Also, the guy here who's the manager, maybe he's the assistant manager. He was the one that, when the lid exploded on my coffee cup, I'm not sure how many of you remember that happening or if you were watching my videos at that point in time, but it was pretty interesting. It was a loud explosion, so I thought somebody had actually like fired a firearm into my vehicle or something. It was loud. So he was telling me you get to see something flying out of it on camera, which is pretty cool. That was actually the camera here at Denny's that the officer came into reference. Also, I kind of like giving people the tip even before the service is over, because a lot of times, like, I'll sit for a decent amount of people go on a break.
Thank you, Mike. All right, do you need a second?
Nope, I know what I want. The sausage and the biscuits and the scrambled eggs.
Sausage, biscuit, scrambled egg.
What's the name of that again?
The
Super
It's
Economy Broke
the-
Folk Breakfast.
right here. It's the everyday value right there. So you choose from either the pancakes, French toast, or the biscuits with gravy. So it's the biscuits and gravy, the scrambled, and the sausage. Right
Yes,
there, everyday value. You got you, my friend. Thank you, sir.
Anyway, with a lot of the stuff that's been going on recently, we see the world around us and what's going on. You guys aren't blind. The fact that you're pretending that you're blind is getting a lot of innocent people killed. And bonjour, it's good to see you again. One of the biggest things through this is that I need you to understand, if you don't fess up to your screw ups, you're going to screw up again. It's important to be honest. It's also important to not take advantage of your friends or give them false promises or empty hope. I think it's really cool though, learning about thermodynamics. That's something I've been doing a little bit recently. I was inspired by a hot coffee thermos lid flying through my window. I legit thought somebody had shot power. That no joke whatsoever. I mean, it was pretty loud. I've heard windows shattering before, and it doesn't have an explosive sound to it. But it was a stainless steel container and a plastic lid, and of course, it just, like I said, thermodynamics. You know, I'm slightly jealous of Mike. He got to watch my window explode on camera, and all I got to do is listen to it explode right next to me.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
What the shit happened?
Well, I got a hot coffee and I put it into my thermos. It was a stainless steel thermos with a plastic lid, one of the ones that screws onto the outside. So it built up some heat and built up some pressure. And since the lid was closed, it couldn't vent, and it shot the lid right through my window.
Oh, like a bolt, dude, just gone.
Yeah, it sounded like it too.
Oh my gosh, dude, I bet that thing went flying. Pressured all the hell up and just like, no.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I guess you're lucky it didn't hit you.
I definitely am.
Yeah, that probably would have dislocated the jaw.
Well, I got a piece of plastic taped over, and it's clear plastic, so I'm good to go.
Yeah, there you go.
Although I did not, I don't know, did I steal my silverware?
Oh, no. No, probably not. You know what? I've been cleaning tables. I'll probably miss one. There you go.
All right, well, I'll blame you this once. Next time I get the credit. One of the things that I noticed, a lot of people that, all right, so I didn't start helping to find people real heavy until after my sister disappeared. And thank goodness she was found safe, or reasonably safe. But, you know, after that, every time somebody I knew disappeared, I was pretty keen on finding them. And there had been a few people in my past that I'd met disappeared and ended up dead. So I definitely knew the possibilities. For a lot of these folks I had to go to for help, they've never lost a loved one like that, ever. They don't know the first thing about it, and they're not going to care until it happens to them. And that's very sad for me. Because rather than taking preventative measures, you're left looking for somebody to blame after the fact. Now, I've been finding missing people and helping to find missing people across the country for quite a few years. I never stopped. No matter how many predators threaten to kill me, no matter how many child molesters want to, I'm hunting them down to kill them. I exposed them. I expose the bad guys. I also expose why it is that they get away. Now, when it comes to having a warm place, like right now, I'm not wasting electricity. Well, I am kind of on my phone, but I'm not wasting my gas to get that electricity. I'm not wasting the gas to get the warmth that I'm enjoying. And for me, it's not just a matter of breakfast. I mean, this represents for me, at least for a few minutes, not being cramped. It represents not having to urinate in a cup. It represents for me the ability to stand up and stretch without freezing, without my bones starting to hurt. If it takes a few minutes worth of stretching to get my back to not hurt as much. So a lot of these places that are open late, they're actually a sanctuary for people. If they can actually come up with enough money to get the on a value meal thing here. And please, even if you gotta panhandle it up, $5 for a tip. You know, these people gotta live too. These people gotta eat too. Some of y'all make more money panhandling than these waiters and waitresses do. The least you can do is kick them down a few extra. Especially since there is so many other services here that are provided that you take advantage of or take for granted, those of you who have never been homeless, who only know what it's like to be cold on the way to your car, on your way to work or after work. And you bundle up even for that. And being thankful, a lot of y'all don't quite understand what that means. Or being grateful. Not just because somebody does something good for you, doesn't mean that you owe them for it. Unless it's an agreement that you guys made. In which case, pay what you owe. Be true to your word.
I'm gonna go outside and smoke for just a few minutes. I'll see you from the front door if you guys go up. Yeah, you're good. Thanks. As soon as I get back in, I'll put that one test smoke.
Many people act as if their waiter or waitress should be Almighty himself should be able to snap their fingers and make everything the cook does perfect, or make the silverware perfect, or make everybody else's jobs perfect. Now they can try. On a night like tonight, when they're not too full, it's a lot easier to do. And they got a few more staff than they did the other night. The other night, there was a lot of people in here, and only, from what I could see, 2.5 people, because one of them was really trying hard to run back and forth and do the scrambling. But also, there's the stuff in the back that needs done. So that stuff absolutely has to be done. You can't let it just back up and sit there and leave it for the morning shift. It's definitely not a happening thing. I've learned my lessons of etiquette. I've also learned that people don't listen to the good guy. Sorry, the nice guy. They listen to the predators. They listen to the name callers and the screamers. The predators are the ones that you listen to. And it's important to force their prey to act like that in order to get heard. Yes, you can threaten a mentally ill person 1,000 times, and people will tell that mentally ill person just to let it go. But if that mentally ill person threatens you just once back, you flip off the damn deep end, you and your buddies. And you use that as an excuse, don't you? Oh, well, it was fine for you to do all those horrible things beforehand because he actually threatened you back, huh? No, that's not okay. Until the people who threatened to kill my family are put away, never mind the ones that threatened to kill me. Obviously, nobody cares. But the ones who threatened to kill my sister and my niece, and many, many others, these people do need to be locked up. They need to know that there are consequences for doing that. Natalie Bollinger's death was made interactive entertainment for some of the most sick people on the planet.
Hey, man, there's no rush. You hang as long as you wanna.
Actually, I was about to go pay for that now because I want to get that out of the way and then come back and sit down. Although I might have a.
Want me to take care of it?
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Take $5 out of that, please.
Take 5 out?
Yes, sir. I like your customer relations.
I appreciate it, dude. I enjoy talking to customers instead of just making a monotone. I'll be right back in.
Those are two very specific types of cologne, and I recognize both of them. I just don't recognize the name. Also, not that any one of my viewers actually cares or has any idea, but what is the name of that anti-poo smell that ladies got? You know, the little things look like a Banaka spray from the 90s, except it's got that smell that actually makes your poo not stink. Because I noticed there's a lot of aerosol stuff in bathrooms that, you know, here's the thing. If you mix kind of a funky, almost flower smelling thing with the smell of shit, it's now a really funky smelling shit that you've got. That's what you've resulted in doing. But I found some of them ladies' bottles when I cleaned Cabela's. I used to have to clean the ladies' restrooms. And I always remember going in there and thinking to myself, it smells like those sprays, but it never smells like poo in here. The guy's bathroom always smells like poo. If I knew the name of that spray, God, that stuff would be great, because there's a whole friggin' town here that smells like poo. And it would sure be nice if we could debunk the region. Now, we got to hear from a lady earlier who may or may not be a bit on the crazy side, but there's also the fact that she did have useful knowledge, and if you guys paid attention, then you can actually pull out some of the useful knowledge. Some of the stuff that she told us that we're aware of already, that helps to verify it. Verified by professionals, somewhat verified by the media, I guess, although I don't think that media verification is the best way to verify something, because they tend to spin a story based on ratings. There's a lot of people that I've called out. I absolutely care about these people. They absolutely don't care about me. And you can tell that by how much of their lives I know about, because I do pay attention. And many of them complain that I don't pay attention. And when I use the fact that I didn't pay attention to them as their excuse for ignoring me while I came to them for help over abuse for the last few years. I wouldn't and didn't do that to you. When you asked for help, I didn't just say that I would try. I actually made the effort then and there. And I just found part of my bumper. I didn't realize that when I backed up yesterday, it fell out. But I'm seeing it over next to me. The parking space next to me is the one that I parked in. last night or the night before, I believe. And I felt and heard my bumper when I backed out, so it's a sound I'm familiar with and I've encountered before and I'm used to. Fuck, that hurts. Also, while I'm out here, I'm gonna grab my electronics and take in with me. I might sketch out a submarine or two. I've been studying the Seehund and the CB and CA series from Italy from World War II. I've also been doing a little bit of independent studies on the electro boots, or like the Type 21 electro boat. My favorite though, the World War II era. I really like the Dutch submarines, the way they're shaped, some of the Russian submarines, the way they're shaped. But I really, really like the design shape of the Type 23. And I think out of all of the submarines in World War II, that's probably my favorite because it's just this tiny little thing. It doesn't even have reloads. It's just got 2 torpedo tubes in front. But also, you know, given the size, it's still manageable enough to live on the ocean again. Whereas something like the CB series or the Seehund, they're too small. And for certain, the Beaver submarine is way too small. By the way, I recommend looking up the Beaver submarine restoration. The guy who actually tested the Beaver submarine that they restored, it hadn't been used in like 70 years, and this guy was like 96 or some crap like that, old as hell. And he actually got into the restored Beaver submarine. He had been one of the few survivors of the pilots of the Beaver submarines. And he actually took it into the locks and did the test dive and all of that stuff. And it's pretty cool. They actually had a different guy go in and do the test dive. But the guy who was the Beaver submarine guy was, I was gonna say he went down in it, but I don't think he did. I think it was actually this other guy that did. But, you know, having those old things there, having people that are still alive to tell those stories, that's some pretty important stuff in my personal way of thinking. I think those people, the things that they went through, no matter what country they came from, you know, it is important to tell their stories and to learn what they went through and why, what they did. You know, there's a lot of people that were in Germany, in Nazi Germany, that were doing desperate things so that they wouldn't have to go murder people. People who, you know, it was against their beliefs, against their religious convictions to go murdering people, and they had 2 choices. You can either ignore your religion or die for your religion. Most of them did not die for their religion. Most of them did what they were told. Most of them picked up rifles, pointed them at what they considered Untermensch, lesser people. If they told you to assassinate some Poles, you assassinated some Poles. If they told you to kill a whole village full of Russians, you kill a whole village full of Russians. Now that kind of mentality didn't start off with people running around killing each other. It started off with people being trained to think a certain way, using propaganda and the like. Now, there are things that we can do to make this world a better place, but not if we're ignoring the victims, not if we're looking the other way all the damn time, not if we're focused on trivial shit. There are so many people through this who wanted to use material things as excuses not to do the right thing, just to tell the truth. Christine Muheep was going to help me, but she was a drug addict. When she ended up with housing, she was afraid of losing her housing for telling the truth. So she did horrible things to me, not caring about the consequences for me and for others. She had no remorse over it. And what happened to Christine Muheep, by the way? Well, I tell you, karma got her. She died exactly how I told you she would. She got her housing. She did a bunch of drugs. It wasn't regulated because she didn't have to go try to find a safe place to do it. She didn't have to do all of the extra work to get those drugs and come up with the money, because now that she had a place for other junkies to go use, well, they'd bring her some. Unregulated like that, she ended up doing, I'm sure, a lot more drugs than she would have normally, which was already quite extensive. And she ended up with a bad batch. It happens. Anyway, with me being able to come here to the Denny's, be a paying customer, there's no problem with my vehicle being here. I am a paying customer. That may not say a whole lot about it, but it's something. As far as the churches here go, they're not safe places. If somebody walked into the Denny's and was threatening to kill me, or even screaming at me like they did outside of the church there, or there's mandated reporters in the church listening to it happening, and what'd they do? Come out and bitch to me. Now here at the Denny's, if that shit's happening, they're probably gonna call the cops. They're not gonna want to, but that's one of those situations where they kind of got to. It's a severe disruption to their business to be having that going on. If he was outside of this business or came inside to do that, or was doing the things that he was doing to me, getting all up in my grill and screaming in my face, yeah, I'm fairly certain the folks at Denny's would make a call pretty quick. Why didn't they do that at the church? Mandated reporters don't want to do their jobs. When you got a 13-year-old girl who comes in and tries telling the Sunday school teacher, hey, my dad's doing bad things, she's supposed to do something. But what's she gonna do? She's a lot more likely to do that for a girl than she is for a boy. And she's a lot more likely to do it for a boy than she is to do it for a grown-ass man. Then again, just because somebody is an adult doesn't mean that they aren't at the same or higher risk as children, because when you're an adult, nobody cares. Because you're an adult, you must have chose everything that happened. You have the same opportunities as everyone else. Really? Really? You think I could have gotten a loan, $1 million loan from my daddy when I turned 18? I don't think so. But sure, keep selling yourself that. Good to be radio. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.